Attention passionate Baltimore Ravens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Baltimore Ravens' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Baltimore Ravens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Baltimore, RAVENS fans. Let's get to the news all right. Ravens fans, buckle up because what's happening right now could be one of the most transformative moments in recent franchise history. We're talking about a potential blockbuster trade that's been circulating through league sources, including none other than Adam Schefter. The rumors swirling around involve the Las Vegas Raiders, a team that's been struggling mightily this season with a record of just 2-5. Their defense has been a major issue, giving up an average of 26 points per game, which is simply not good enough in today's NFL. The Raiders, facing a critical rebuild and a cap crunch, are reportedly considering parting ways with one of their most valuable assets, Max Crosby. And it's not just talk. The plan is to trade Crosby for a first-round pick in 2026 and a third-round pick in 2025, a move that signals a reset for the Raiders as they look to build a more sustainable future. Now, why does this matter so much for the Ravens? Well, Crosby isn't just any edge rusher. He's a three-time Pro Bowler out of Eastern Michigan, a player who has established himself as one of the most relentless and effective pass rushers in the league. Since entering the NFL in 2019, Crosby has accumulated an impressive 52 sacks, with a career high of 9. 5 sacks so far in 2025, along with 45 pressures and a PFF grade of 91. That puts him squarely among the top edge rushers in the league, especially in 2025 where he's ranked in the top 5 at his position. His explosiveness, combined with his technical proficiency, makes him a nightmare for offensive lines. At 6'5" and 255 pounds, Crosby's size, speed, maxing out at 19 mph in pursuits, and stamina make him an unstoppable force when he's healthy and motivated. And speaking of health, Crosby has had minimal issues with injuries. He missed just one game in 2024 due to a shoulder injury, and this season he's been remarkably durable. His performance against the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 6, where he logged 3 sacks, showcased his ability to dominate even against top-tier competition. His statistics aren't just numbers, they're a testament to his consistency and high level of play. When you compare him to other elite pass rushers like Watt, Crosby's technique and size give him an edge that could elevate any defense he joins. Now, let's take a moment to understand the broader picture. The Raiders are motivated to make this move not just because Crosby is a free agent in 2026, with a projected cap hit of around $25 million, but also because they desperately need to overhaul their offensive line. They've allowed about 140 rushing yards per game this season, a number that's unacceptable in today's NFL, and they're looking to acquire assets that can help them rebuild through the draft. Trading Crosby for a first-round pick and a third-round pick in 2025 not only frees up space, about $18 million in cap space for extensions and other roster moves, but also allows them to target a quarterback in the draft, potentially the projected number 3 overall pick, who could be the franchise savior they've been desperately seeking. And here's where it gets really interesting for the Ravens. Baltimore, currently sitting at 1-5, is facing a slightly different set of challenges. Lamar Jackson has been battling a hamstring injury, which caused him to miss Week 8. Before his injury, Lamar was playing at a high level with a passer rating of 95, showing his ability to stretch defenses with his deep ball, averaging around 5 yards per attempt. But without him in Week 8, the Ravens have struggled to find consistency on offense. Still, they have the cap space, more than $14 million available, and a roster that's hungry to bounce back. What makes the potential acquisition of Crosby so significant for Baltimore is the immediate boost he could give to their pass rush. Currently, the Ravens are ranked around 18th in sacks, averaging just 2.8 per game, which is below the league average. Crosby's arrival, assuming the trade goes through, could push that number into the top 5, boosting pressures, sacks, and overall disruption in the backfield. His presence alongside Odafe, who's shown flashes of brilliance but hasn't yet reached his full potential, could form a fearsome duo capable of elevating the entire defense. If Crosby's health holds, he could be the catalyst that transforms Baltimore's pass rush from decent to elite. and it's not just about sacks. Crosby's ability to generate pressure leads to more turnovers, more forced fumbles, and more opportunities for the secondary to capitalize on turnovers. The secondary, which has struggled at times this season, would benefit immensely from a defense that can put the opposing offense under constant pressure, forcing mistakes and creating more scoring opportunities for Lamar and the offense. If Crosby can help reduce the points allowed per game from around 28 to closer to 22, that alone would be a massive step forward. It's all about creating a domino effect, pressure leading to turnovers, which lead to more possessions, which ultimately turn into more points. Looking at the bigger picture, adding Crosby could have a transformative effect on the Ravens' overall ranking. If they manage to improve their sack total by around 20%, jump into the top 8 in the league in defensive efficiency, and create more chaos on third down, the Ravens could significantly improve their chances of making a deep playoff run. This kind of upgrade would also help them compete more effectively against AFC powerhouses like the Chiefs, who are favorites at around plus 400 odds to win the Super Bowl this year. While Baltimore is currently considered a long shot at plus 10-0, this trade could shift perceptions and make them a real sleeper contender. Now, let's talk about the impact on the AFC North race. The Bengals are currently seen as the favorites at plus 2,000, but with a dominant pass rusher like Crosby, the Ravens could turn into a serious threat. The AFC North has traditionally been one of the most physical and competitive divisions in the league, and adding a player of Crosby's caliber would send a clear message. It would be akin to the kind of moves teams made in the 2010s with players like Ray Lewis or Ed Reed, building a legacy of grit, intensity, and relentless pursuit of excellence. This isn't just about one player, it's about redefining what the Ravens can be on defense. Of course, all of this hinges on how the trade develops and whether the Raiders are willing to part with Crosby at this point in the season. But the signs are pointing to a real possibility, and if it happens, the ripple effects will be felt across the league. The Ravens, with their focus on balancing a potent offense led by Lamar Jackson and a rising defense energized by this potential addition, could be on the verge of a renaissance. It's a strategic move that could pay dividends not just for this season, but for years to come, especially if they manage to extend Lamar and keep this core intact. This move would also send a message to the AFC that Baltimore isn't just content with being a playoff team. They want to be a Super Bowl favorite. With Crosby's stamina, technical skill, and relentless motor, he could be the piece that finally pushes the Ravens over the top, especially in those cold, playoff atmospheres where pressure and pass rush are king. His ability to sustain high-level performance in high-pressure moments could be the X-factor that turns a good team into a championship one. In terms of the historical context, this isn't the first time the Ravens have made bold moves to elevate their roster. Think back to when they acquired players like Mack, who significantly boosted the Colts' pass rush, adding around 200 pressures in his tenure. Crosby, with a pass rush grade of 92. 5 in 2025 would be an upgrade and a perfect complement to the defensive scheme that Coach Harbaugh loves to run, aggressive, disciplined, and relentless. His addition could also help balance the defense, which has been somewhat inconsistent since Nnamdi Madubuike's injury. With Madubuike questionable for Week 8 due to a knee injury, having Crosby available could provide that stability and elite pass rush presence. And let's not forget the emotional and leadership aspect. Crosby's intensity and experience, combined with his proven track record, could serve as a rallying point for the entire defense. His presence on the field is not just about the sacks and pressures, but about setting a tone, showing the league that the Ravens are back to their hard-hitting, defensive-minded roots. This, combined with Lamar's resurgence on offense and the potential improvements in their secondary, could make Baltimore a complete team that's built for the long haul. So, as we look ahead, the key question is, will the Raiders pull the trigger on this deal? If they do, it could set off a chain reaction that elevates the Ravens from a struggling team to a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Imagine a defense that can dominate the line of scrimmage, a secondary that benefits from the chaos created up front, and an offense that's already explosive with Lamar Jackson, now supported by a revamped and energized unit. It's the kind of move that could redefine the franchise and make this season one of the most memorable in Ravens history. And now, Baltimore Ravens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you believe Crosby is the missing piece that can finally push Baltimore over the edge? Would you be willing to see the team part with draft assets for such a proven talent? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Ravens community. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Baltimore Ravens news, because this season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting yet.